up in a ponytail all day, all fucking day, and it itches. Ugh. Damn me. Damn me. Damn my eyes. Celebrating 420. Is that today? Is today 420? I'll have to smoke a little weed. As if I wasn't going to do that anyway. I'll go grab something. Ooh, fucking. Who gives a shit, right? Right? Pretty blasted on edibles right now, huh? Cool. Got some of those too. I could go really join you. Pop a couple of those and then smoke. Ooh, now I'm starting to feel it. Starting to feel this idea. Good old 420. Yeah, today is the day. Today is the best day in April, the best day of the year. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Do you get bugs out there? What the fuck do you think, dude? I live in the middle of nowhere and you can actually hear crickets right now. Listen. You think I get bugs? I live in the literal middle of God's green nowhere. And you can literally hear crickets singing. Yeah. I get bugs. There's bugs. Living in the country is so nice. Yeah, I agree. I fully agree. Living in the country is very nice. A fool, Paul. You're a fool. You are a fool. You're bad what? Your keyboard betrayed you? Kill it. Kill it with fire. Kill it with gasoline and fire. Somebody on the subreddit posted an article that cited that the FBI is aware that people use the term in Minecraft when they're talking about illegal activities online. I was like, wow, man, you guys are quick on the uptake, FBI. You guys figured it out? Wow, man. How many analysts did you guys put on that shit? How many FBI analysts were sent out to study Minecraft so that you could come up with that shit? Dumb fucks. Whatever, bro. TJ made, I don't know if he was trolling or whatever, but he made one of the dumbest tweets that I've seen him make in a long fucking time tonight. He posted an infographic of the ratchet effect, showing a gear saying Republicans turn everything to the right, leftists block progress back to the left. So you ratchet. And he said, judging by this, if this graphic is correct, doesn't that mean that we should always vote Democrat so we don't lose more ground? Shrug emoji. And he's like, well, yeah. Or I'm like, well, yeah. You know, if the Democrats were capable of getting reelected, if they actually did anything, then oh boy, that would be a great fucking tactic, wouldn't it? But as it stands right now, when you elect a Democrat and they give you dog shit and the corporate tax rate goes from 20%, not back up to 35% where it was before Trump, goes to 25%. Then he sucks shit and gets booted out, and the Republican comes back and it goes to 15. And then the Democrats come back and they go to 17. This concept is not hard to fucking understand. And it's just like, I don't understand how you make that tweet. He posted an infographic of the ratchet effect and said, if this is correct, shouldn't we just vote Dem every time to avoid losing ground? I was like, no. Voting Dem is why you're losing ground. Hence the graphic. Bink. Bink. One of the dumbest fucking things I've seen him tweet in a long time. I don't know if he's just pretending not to understand the simple mechanics of a ratchet, or if he's not pretending to understand that there's absolutely no way that Democrats could ever get cyclically reelected because they never do a fucking thing. It just, maybe he was just trolling for responses or something, but I read that and I was just like, it's like, this type of fucking argument makes willful, ignorant people out of really smart people. No, we haven't talked about it. I just saw the fucking tweet. I actually took a long-ass fucking nap today. I slept about 3 hours last night. Last night, not tonight. And I laid down at like 6 or 7 or something tonight and woke up about an hour ago. And I looked at my Twitter and I was like, what? I love how he starts the tweet with, if this graphic is correct, like he doesn't know that it is. Like he doesn't know that the ratchet effect is how the corporate tax rate continues to fall. It's how Democrats continue to lose ground to Republicans. And he also knows that that's part of the process. He knows that's by design. So it's like all of a sudden, because there's an argument to be made, he forgets that. Doesn't know that all of a sudden. I'm telling you, man, this like voting for Joe Biden, voting for AOC, electoralism shit has got people all fucking twisted up. It's got them making excuses for shit that they normally wouldn't excuse. This is why it sucks. This is why having people's passion funneled into electoralism and incrementalism kills it and snuffs it out. And why people turn out like me, 40 years old and not voting. why like close to half the country doesn't show up to vote. This is why. Exactly why. It's like taking these positions has, and I'm not just talking about TJ here, has involved so much ego with the people that have taken them that I don't know that there's anything that Joe Biden could do that will get them to admit that they made the wrong decision. They're literally arguing about a theoretical 0.001% reduction in harm and making posts acting like they don't understand simple concepts like the ratchet effect and the political pendulum. It's got people literally pretending to be dumb so that they can continue to justify their continued participation in shit in a system that's fucking them and everybody else besides. Isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful? This shit drives me up a fucking wall, man. It drives me right up a fucking wall to see smart people saying dumb shit. This is your brain on electoralism. I can't stand the same 3 people that respond to your tweets. I probably have them muted forever. Like, there's a whole cavalcade of, like, fucking clowns that follow me around on Twitter and pretend like they don't understand a thing I say. It's fucking ridiculous. Pouring in slow tonight. Well, it's late. I know. I don't really care. I don't give a fuck. I'll sit here and talk to 2 of you. Oh, dude, I blocked Mark Lahamadou a long time ago. Not even muted. I just straight out blocked his dumbass. I got so fucking tired of his shit livery in my fucking feed. Every time I would post, that dude was like a little puppy dog sniffing my milk dud, lapping at Joe Biden's balls. It's like, get out. It's like, get the fuck out. Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. Play Dance Dance Revolution or whatever you're playing. Oh, Zuma Deluxe, huh? Oh, okay. Sure you're not playing Osu? I'm going to an aquarium tomorrow. What sea creatures do you enjoy looking at, Paul? All of them. I'm really fascinated by ocean creatures. I think some of my favorites to sit and watch are otters and seals. There's an aquarium in California, Monterey Bay Aquarium, and they've got an observation deck where you can view an otter sanctuary and watch the otters play and stuff, and it's fucking amazing. So it's also one of the best, if not maybe the best aquarium in America. Dealing with degenerates on the internet is what made me quit commissioning. Tried to dip my toe back into it, but immediately ran into a pedophile. It's just making my head hurt. I just work. I mean, whatever, dude. The internet is a hive of scum and villainy. What do you want? From the Central Coast. Cool. Like San Luis Obispo. If I had a lot of money, I'd live in Slow. I'd buy a little fucking house in Slow. Maybe on the outskirts of Slow, on the way out of Slow towards Pismo. Get a little house out in the middle of nowhere there. The internet is the internet and will likely never change. Okay. Well, that's a good statement. Thank you for that. That's where you were raised. We're geographical brothers. I've been in, around, and through San Luis Obispo more times than I can fucking count. God damn. All gas, no brakes. All my homies got that gas and they always be smoking like a Rasta. Paul, anything upcoming from DFF to look forward to? Yeah. Constantly. 2 brand new shows a week. 2 hours of Flash Friday a week. Movie commentaries, special fucking streams, abandoned hopes, fucking special events. Yeah. Yep. We work hard to make sure that there's always something to look forward to. Assuming you're a patron and deserve it, exactly. If you're not a patron, then well, why the fuck are we even discussing it? Ugh. Thank your lucky stars if you don't have allergies. Dyke Van Dyke, dude. The greatest American. The most fantastic American. I'm Rick James, bitch. I'm one of the most electrifying motherfuckers you ever seen. One of the sexiest motherfuckers ever lived. I'm just sick of people fucking hedging and making excuses now. This ain't, I'm not fucking going after TJ on this necessarily. It's just everybody. I'm so fucking tired of leftists hedging, making excuses, pretending like we've got fucking 100 years for their little incrementalism strategy to bear a single fucking piece of edible fruit. Ridiculous. I'm sick of sitting and watching things get worse and everybody telling me that it's incrementally getting better. I'm sick of it. I'm just fucking done with the Steven Pinker thinkers. I'm just done with them. The woods are on fire. The cities are ablaze. The overpasses are homeless shelters. The economy is inverted. And it's just like, we need leftists to be doing what leftists should be doing. Screaming from the hilltops that the woods are burning and that the fucking wildfire is sweeping towards us. Screaming from the hilltops our enemies list, which includes Democrats. Screaming from the hilltops the politicians that refuse to take care of their constituency. And instead, we're all powwowing around, still making videos about Trump. I saw Vosh the other day do a whole fucking 3-hour stream about Trump. What? So in the same week that Joe Biden reduces the corporate tax rate from Obama's effective 35% to 25%, you've got nothing to talk about but the ex-president? See smart people engaging in this. Really smart people. I'm just like, makes me sick. And quite frankly, I'm tired of making the fucking argument. Like, I'm tired of being, like, I gotta be honest with you here. Let me play a little victim. Let me play a little victim complex for a second. I'm tired of being the whipping boy for this community. Not the DFF community, I'm talking about the leftists. I'm tired of being a leftist whipping boy because I'm correct before everybody else. Let's just say it like it is. I am so motherfucking sick of taking shit from pea-brained fucking idiots who come around to it 10 years later and pretend like they knew it all along. I'm sick of it. There's my little boo-hoo, poor me. People, I mean, Smoke Perp, people think if they argue hard enough against me that what I'm saying won't be so. And it just continues to be so, cycle after cycle. Go back and look at my fucking takes. Look at my takes and tell me where I'm wrong. And look at the length of time that I've been making these takes. Look at the length of time. 10 years or more on my YouTube channel here. I've been saying functionally the same shit. And being told I'm wrong the whole time. You know how many people have come around to my way of thinking on things? Do you know how many leftists were defensive of things that I was against and are now against them? You know, I was one of the early adopters on the left to start talking about these fucking x-ray machines at airports and shit. There were people on the left going like, oh, you conspiracy theorists are trying to make this out to be something like it is. It's not invading your privacy, blah, blah, blah. It's like, it's not an invasion of your privacy to be stripped naked to get on a plane? I saw Vosh doing a stream today. I was fucking playing a video game earlier today, and he was in my recommended list. Saw he was live, tuned in. What the fuck was that motherfucking idiot talking about? He was talking about cancel culture and how good it is. Like how it's working. Like how it's necessary. Like how it's not censorship when people are saying things that are harmful. I was like, what kind of fucking leftist are you? Are you serious? What is this? It's like fucking bizarro world out there. Shit fuck takes from everybody. Shit fuck takes from every leftist. It's like, what the fuck? I believe I know exactly why he has a large following, because the dude is charismatic and knows how to speak in a tone that both comes off as erudite and completely cocksure. That's why he's popular. Because the guy went to school enough to speak the language that other people don't know how to speak. And because he knows how to present every statement that comes out of his mouth in an insanely cocksure way. It's like a magnet for young people. That type of personality is like a magnet for young people. Same as Jordan Peterson, absolutely. Different message, same tactic. He's like, there's a I don't know if I'd call it a phenomenon because I haven't studied it, but there's something I suspect is a phenomenon on the internet. And I've been playing around with the idea of what to call it. And I think like foster father syndrome is the best way to put it. There are so many predominantly young men who are out there looking for somebody who's slightly older and slightly smarter than them to latch onto ideologically. And that's Vosh's audience. It's like, I need a philosophical, political daddy that has takes for me. And then I can take those takes and spew them at everybody like they're absolute, fundamental, undeniable truth. I need somebody that has takes that sound really smart, that I can just, fucking misquote and throw around on Twitter all day. That's what it is. They need a philosophical daddy to grab them by the hand and show them how to think for themselves. And tell them he's showing them how to think for themselves, but really he's just showing them how to think like him. And how does he think? He thinks like a Beverly Hills liberal. You're telling me this guy's good for the left? No. No, he isn't. All the disappointments of the Biden administration, from the ramping up, not canceling of deportations, to the erosion of the corporate tax base, to the erosion of the environment, is on him and everybody else that voted with him and like him. He doesn't want it to be so, but it is so. It's on him. Every fucking stream that he does should be calling out the Biden administration for their inaction and their right-wing policies and their warmongering. You know, this motherfucker made a stream defending Joe Biden's bombing of Syria, saying it was the difference between Joe Biden bombing somewhere and Trump bombing somewhere is like the difference between bombing an elementary school and an arms depot. This guy's a leftist. Really? Okay. They're not even slapping his hand disappointingly. Bully Biden became sit back and defend Biden. Just like I said it would, by the way. I'm pretty sure I made a tweet exactly saying that before the election. You can go back and look. Bully Biden will become defend Biden. And sure enough, here we are. Just another bad take that turned out to be totally 110% true. Whoops. It's another bad Paul take that turned out to be true. Buried in the annals of history, ever forgotten. Do you also defend Biden putting kids in cages? Yes, go watch his stream called, Yes, Biden is putting kids in cages, but there's something you need to know. Go watch it. Where he adds some nuance to Biden throwing migrant children in cages. Facilities meant for 100 people have 700 children in them. Go watch him defend it. You don't got to take my word for it. Dun dun dun. You know where I first noticed the philosophy daddy syndrome? It wasn't even on the left, bro. You know where I first noticed it? When I was butting heads with the alt-right back on my DP show. When I was butting heads with these dumbass fucking 2 IQ motherfuckers like Andy Worski and shit. And looking at their audience and going like, where the fuck are these young men coming from? That's where I first no, it was before Jordan Peterson. I noticed the philosophical daddy complex. How do you think the alt-right sprung up? J.F. Garape, fucking Tim Pool, fucking all these alt-right figures. How do you think they spewed dumb, fucking legitimately dumb takes out of their mouth all day and garnered audiences of hundreds of thousands of people? 90% young men. Razorfish, Milo, Stefan Molyneux, then the list goes on and on. This is when I started to really pay attention to it, when the alt-right was ascendant. And now it's infected everything. Now, tons of young people need a philosophical daddy to lead them down the primrose path of electoralism. And they find that. Which people? The people proffering the fucking shit or the people following it? I don't know what's wrong with them. I don't know if there's anything fundamentally wrong with them. I just think it's a phenomenon that has completely neutered political activism. You take it a step further and even attribute a philosophical family complex where people like I used to, and maybe still do, keep 5 or 6 of those fathers in their corner. Sure. That's better than having one, though. That's better than slavishly following one and watching one every fucking day for every take that you have and just parroting one. At least you've got 5 or 6 different perspectives that you keep in your hip pocket. I do too. I'm not saying it's wrong to listen to the perspective of others. I'm saying that it's wrong to take that perspective and run with it like it's your own without even thinking about it. Same people who defend Biden are the same people who call Jimmy Dore a right-winger. I mean, look at the way that people that are outside of the shitlib Overton window are treated. Go and look at my fucking shit. Go look at my public posts and read some of the shit that people say about me. Go look at my subreddit and read some of the shit that people say about me. Look at the character assassination that goes on simply for fucking standing up and saying the emperor has no clothes. For standing up and saying this isn't harm reduction, this is harm extension. Go take a look. Use me as a fucking case study and look at how I'm treated in the left. As a Brit watching from afar, it looks to me that America cannot hold. You better hope it does, as a Brit. As goes America, so goes the world. So if we don't hold, your ass is grass, motherfucker. You know how quickly you'll be a Russian fucking state? You better hope America holds. You better cross your fucking fingers and hope. The combined military might of Great Britain is about a gnat fart on the global stage. And you dumbasses left the EU. Yeah, you better hope the United States holds. Either that or start studying Russian or Chinese right now. Start learning it. Because your country will be a backwater fucking Russian province. Britain is like a sub-corporation of the United States. Like, people in the UK that think that they've got it better there or that their country is better, you're the United States' lapdog. You don't think you're fear-mongering a tad? Do you know the history of the continent that we're talking about? Do you know the history of Europe? Especially the recent history. Do you know the 20th century history of Europe? You think I'm fear-mongering when I say that if America goes defunct, that Europe is fucked? You know, when you lay your... And see, this is one of the things that people don't understand. When you lay your head down on your pillow and get a good night's sleep in a country that isn't America, you have us to thank for it. We're standing the walls and letting your little capitalist dreamland exist. We're standing post for you. America fails. Nobody's going to be standing on the walls anymore, dumb shit. Paul, are you a Chinese actor to make real socialists give up hope and further let America destabilize? If I was a Chinese actor trying to do that, I would probably try and funnel as many bright young socialists into the DNC as possible. Who does that? I can't think of anybody that does that, but that would be my tactic if I was a fucking Chinese operative. That's how I would get people to give up on politics and become complacent. We just sent warships to the Black Sea to see off Putin from Ukraine, to see him off. Bruh, your British warships, never mind, dude. I'll let you live in your goddamn rule Britannia fucking world, because you know what? It's one of the only things you people have over there, and I don't want to strip it from you. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britannia ever, ever, ever will be saved. I'll let you live in your little fucking bubble. Brit living in 1695. Yeah. Oh my God. Doesn't Britain have nukes on those things? Yeah. Yeah. Doesn't Russia have more nukes than the rest of the world combined? We sent a warship or two to stop Putin from taking over Crimea. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Was that a joke? I'm not even saying America's a better place. Like, I'm just saying, like, you better fucking hope that America doesn't go tits up. Because, like it or not, America is a bulwark. They remember who had to save their asses. They just recontextualize it. They convince themselves that they saved their own asses over time. It's not even about us turning Britain into a wasteland, but that's kind of the point. We have the power to do that to pretty much any country. And that power projects a certain amount of right-wing capitalist stability in your country. It allows you to have an air conditioner when it's hot. It allows you to walk down the street and choose from any number of types of cuisine. Rule Britannia, Britannia rules the waves. Britannia ever, ever, ever will be saved. They think, like, that's the thing. They think they are fighting them off because they've forgotten that every military action they take is backed by the actual military might of America. So they send a warship or two to fucking the Black Sea and they think they're stopping Putin's advance on Crimea. They forget that those two warships joined a fleet of American warships and support craft and planes in an American military operation, in a joint American military operation. It's fucking, you have no clue how dependent you are. It drives me kind of nuts when, and I'm not saying that you did this, dude that I'm talking to in the chat now. I'm just saying it happens quite often to me. I think one of the cool things about my job is that people from all over the world watch me. And it's really frustrating sometimes when I see somebody come in and quote unquote dab on the Americans when I'm talking about how fucked up shit is over here. Because those people typically live in a country that is wholly and utterly dependent on suckling on the tit of America and don't even realize it. You know what I mean? They've lived in relative peace for so long that they forget that they're naked without us. They forget that they're utterly and completely naked without the United States. And so, relatively often, somebody from not the United States will come into one of my streams and go like, lol, like, I don't mean to be mean, but I am so glad that I don't live in that shithole fucking country. I'm just like, dude. You're a colony of that fucking country. Like, what are you talking about? You're a ward of that country. That country subsidizes your existence. You're already an American. You want proof? Take a drive into your city and tell me how long it is before you see the golden arches or the Starbucks siren. Yep. We started as actual colonies. And then, over the course of the next 150 years, colonized you. Missed a super chat? Well, fuck me. I think we will be a military state like North Korea. You think so? Maybe. Sorry I missed your super chat there, bud. Thank you for your kind donation. Yeah, bro, I don't know. Okie silly dokie okio, I'm an idiot. Coyotes are out tonight. If this stream goes on long enough, you guys might hear them. They're hunting. Opinions on BLM and Adam Toledo from Chicago. Wasn't Adam Toledo? This is the sad truth. So many young men have been killed. So many people have been killed by cops that is Adam Toledo one of the young men that was killed by cops? Oh, the 13-year-old that was killed with his hands up? I'm numb. And I hate to say that. I really do, but I'm fucking numb from this. I don't even know what to do. I don't know what to say. Other than to provide as much support as I can to the people that are protesting this shit. I was talking to my mom today. Dude, check this shit out. This was kind of crazy. Yakking to my mom on the phone, and she's going on and on about this new show that she's watching with my stepdad. And it's on Netflix or some shit, and it's called Them, right? And It's a story about a black family that immigrates to California in the 1940s, at a time when a lot of people were fleeing Jim Crow in the South for the opportunity that Western states and Northern states provided. And she's talking to me about this, and I'm listening to it, and I'm like, that's on Amazon Prime. Okay, well, whatever. I'm listening to her talk about it, and she's saying all this stuff. She's like, looking at the stuff they had to put up with and how they were treated. It was disgusting and blah, 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 blah. And then, I dropped a little something to her, and I said, Mama, you realize until like 1974, there was a sign outside of Clovis that said, don't let the sun go down on you in Clovis. Clovis is a town that's near where she lives. And she said, I know, PJ. It's disgusting. I was like, is my mom woke? Did this show wake my mom up? Because I'm not saying my mom's like anti-black. She's certainly got some racist tendencies to her, but she's a leftist. And she's like talking all this shit about, and actually acquiescing when I brought up the fact that like black people still put up with that shit. I started talking to her about areas that she knew. I said, Watts in LA. And she was like, yeah. And I said, that used to be beautiful, right? That used to be like beautiful little bedroom communities and houses populated largely by people of color that moved to California. There were good factory jobs. And she was like, yep. And then she said, and all that went away. And I said, and you know what else happened? Racist fucking real estate laws that made it legal to discriminate, that kept black people from ever buying property outside of those ghettoized areas. She was like, I didn't know that. And I said, I told her, I said, do you know that there are people that were born in places like Compton and Watts that have never seen the ocean? They're an hour, by the way, or less from the ocean. I was like, they never leave a fucking 5-mile radius outside of the house that they're born in. Still, to this day. To this day. They discovered slaves in the South as late as the 60s. Crazy story. Look it up if you remember. That is fucking crazy. Do you think the rise in documentation of police brutality will culminate in any improvements soon? I don't think it's going to culminate in improvements, unfortunately, until some upheaval in this country happens. And to be quite frank with you, I think that we're teetering on the edge of that. I think that our society is raw bone when it comes to this shit. It's become increasingly impossible to justify, increasingly impossible to ignore. It's happening all over my city. It's one of the leading reasons so many people are here in Minneapolis are out protesting besides police. Yeah. I'm not a proponent of violence. I think that this could be done non-violently. I just don't know that it will be. Like, I'm a proponent of ending this non-violently. I'm a proponent of the tactics of Dr. King. He met brutality with numbers. He taught people to lay down and to accept the hand. And look at what happened. Look at the pictures that came out of the civil rights movement. He was so fucking right. Look at the pictures of black men being sprayed with hoses, being tossed around like rag dolls with their hands up by fucking big burly white cops. Look at the pictures that came out and how powerful a reminder those pictures are of our past. Nonviolence, in my opinion, is the way to go. I don't think it's going to happen that way, though. Nonviolent civil disobedient action. Sit-ins, marches, mass civil disobedience. And I'm not wagging my finger at people who are participating in these protests or anything that might happen in the coming days as a result of the Chauvin verdict or whatever. Like, trust me, don't take this as that. This is not me wagging my finger and trying to tell people how to feel and how to react to these fucking things. That's not my fucking place. I'm just saying that I think we're heading into an ugly time. And I wish it wasn't so. A lot of people think, tangent, a lot of people think that I revel in negativity. They think that my personality is such that I get off on negativity in the same way they get off on blind optimism and positivity. And the truth of the matter is, straight up, no fucking filter, no joke, it breaks my fucking heart. It breaks my fucking heart to talk about this shit. It breaks my fucking heart to face this shit every day. The suffering in this country and the suffering that this country exports and the suffering and misery all over the world break my fucking heart. I have a giant heart that aches for the human condition. It really does. And that's the truth. I just don't believe that pretending that the zombie bite isn't there is the way you treat it. I don't think that pretending that you're not shot through the lung is the way that you treat a gunshot to the lung. I believe that as unpleasant as it is, you've got to dig the fucking bullet out of that wound. You've got to maybe crack that chest open and sew that low lung shut. And yeah, that means violence and a long recovery time. But you know what? At the end of the day, you don't have a bullet lodged in your lung. I feel that a lot of people willingly misunderstand me. It's a very common tactic amongst trolls and people that fucking hate me in the community to paint me as some fucking cynic that revels in the suffering of other people and that revels in negativity and dragging people down. And the truth is, it's the opposite. Especially when it comes to this real world shit. It breaks my heart. So how would you have me be? A liar? An egotist? Someone who proffers a false hope narrative? America was founded by multiple nationalities, I'm aware. Thank you, Shati. Police brutality is the natural consequence of the government having complete monopoly on violence. Who punishes the state for their wrongdoing? Just nobody. They understand that very well. This is something that I've talked about quite often with you guys. I learned about the hierarchy of violence model from Derek Jensen. And he talks about how the ultimate taboo in our society is sending violence back up the hierarchy. That is rule number one in America, is that violence only flows down the hierarchy. And he uses a really stark example of an abusive home. He talks about his father, who was an abusive drunk. And he said, you know, even if you take it to the microcosm of the family, the violence hierarchy stands, right? So their dad was at the top of the pyramid, and all the violence flowed down from him. And he talked about the time that one of his brothers hit back and got beaten worse than ever before because he had committed the ultimate taboo. He had exported violence up the hierarchy. He, as somebody as an underclass, had exported violence up the hierarchy, the ultimate taboo in our society. And so he got beaten worse than he'd ever gotten beaten before because of that. That's how our society is structured. All violence is bad unless it flows from above you, unless it flows from somebody in authority above you. If a cop were to show up here right now and think I was up to no good and shoot me in the fucking head, that would be justified at the end of the day. But if I were to go out right now and shoot a cop that I thought was up to no good, I'd be all over the news everywhere and in prison for the rest of my life getting butt fucked. Yeah, because the system sees the officer as a guardsman of the civilian as an inmate, yes. A cop literally raped somebody on dash cam and the DA said it was justified because he found weed. Right. You have to understand. Our whole society is designed this way. And if you take it outside of America, what's below us on the pyramid? The global south. So we export violence down to them. But if they strike back at us, oh my fucking God, it's fire and fury, right? Do you see the model enacted in every level of our society, from the American family all the way to the American position on the geopolitical stage? This is what runs our society. Same thing could be said for people with absolute power, sure. Have you seen The Platform? It's all about hierarchy of violence. It's a really interesting watch. I don't think I've seen it, no. I might have. No, that was The Circle that I'm thinking of. I have not seen The Platform. But I'll check it out. Told you guys. You guys might not be able to hear it. It's really faint and distant right now, but the coyotes are starting to howl. They probably took their first kill. It's so fucking cool, this ecosystem that I live in. a good way to good introduction to Derek Jensen. Any video lecture Rex? Yes, he has a very famous video lecture that you can find in multiple formats called Endgame. It's also the name of a book that he wrote that I recommend that you get and read. But yeah, that is his most famous lecture series and a great introduction to Derek Jensen. For the record, we watched Endgame together on a stream years ago, like 2.5 years ago, something like that, back when I was still living in Louisiana in the Tinderbox. So it might be hard to find the stream, but I think it's called Endgame. So if you go onto my channel and do a channel search for Endgame, you can watch both Derek Jensen and my breakdown of what he talks about. Kind of stanza by stanza as he talks about things. We stop and we discuss the different salient points that he makes all the way through his Endgame talk. It's a long stream, but a pretty comprehensive one. So if you're interested, that's what I would recommend that you do. If you like Derek Jensen, I would recommend that you find his YouTube channel and subscribe to it. He does kind of weekly, maybe sometimes bi-weekly vlogs where he talks about whatever topic is on his mind. He actually just got done writing a new book called Bright Green Lies, where he goes after the kind of astroturf environmentalist movement. And talks about how fundamentally destructive a lot of this quote-unquote green energy and the production of it really is to ecosystems and shit. And so he's been talking about that lately. But he talks about all kinds of different topics. Deep green resistance, I think. Well, deep green resistance is his now defunct, I think, ecological activist organization. But his channel, I think, is just called Deep Green. But there you go. Oh, cool. I'll tell a link in it for everybody who might be interested. But yeah, you ever seen that clip where people interrupt him the whole time? That's it's a famous clip that gets thrown in my face a lot because I talk about the philosophy of Derek Jensen and how it aligns with my own a lot. And Derek Jensen is a critic of queer theory. And he was doing a talk at a college, and a bunch of radical feminists were in the audience. And he was talking about the problems inherent in the nature of queer theory and the problems that come with the people who authored the movement, Foucault, etc., and their defense of pedophilia. He was calling it out, and people in the audience were just calling him a liar and screaming and shouting him down. You can find that. Yeah, people have thrown that at me as like, this is your fucking guy. And I was like, yeah. And like, I don't have to agree with everything that comes out of a man's mouth to think that he's a wise person. You know what I mean? If that were the case, the only person in the world I would think is wise is me. Yep, they took a kill. Pretty cool. The circle of life. Pretty cool. One of the scariest moments of my life was being hunted by a band of coyotes. Jesus. Jesus, bruh. Bum, ba, bum, ba, bum, bum. Sprinkle it with dew. The Candyman can. We have a band of like 900 turkeys on our property, but nothing like coyotes. You have to go 40 miles north to get those. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the area that I'm in now is known for having a population of wild coyotes, a large population. There's multiple hunting bands of coyotes that live within, 100-mile radius of me. And when I sit out here at night, I get the distinct pleasure of hearing them go about their work. And I get the natural human alarm system of dogs, because when the dogs in the neighborhood are going ape shit at night and not quiet like they usually are, it means that there's a band of coyotes in the neighborhood hunting. And, I'm sitting out here and my porch light only goes so far, and beyond that, blackness. It's an eerie feeling. There's a large band of predatory animals on the hunt. Dude, coyotes are not going to come after me. Just isn't going to happen, bro. And then a coyote popped out. Hear them? These dogs over here were going ape shit. And now those dogs back there are going ape shit. So the coyotes have moved. Hear how close they're getting? Children of the night, what music they make. I mean, like I said, depending on how long this stream goes and how long the pack is hunting tonight, you guys may get to hear the end of the hunt howl, the celebratory howl that coyotes do at the very end of a hunt. The howls that you hear now are largely communication howls to locate one another and to let one another know that a member of the pack has taken a kill, whether it be a rabbit or a rat or whatever they've caught, right? A cat. And then at the end of the night, when they're done hunting, if they're still in the area and within earshot, you get to hear all of them howling. So whenever I hear coyotes cut up in the surrounding woods, it's because one of them caught something. Either because one of them caught something, or they're trying to, like, whatever the pack alpha is letting the pack know to come to him to hunt something. So it's all prey motivated. Because it doesn't behoove a coyote who hunts by stealth to be howling as it comes at you. You know, they're not that kind of predator. They're not like lions just like laying on the rocks right by zebras who are just like grazing and like kind of looking over their shoulders and shit. You know what I mean? They're not that type of predator. So when coyotes are cutting up, it means that they have caught something. When they're trying to catch something, they're very quiet, and the only thing that knows that they're around are dogs. Dogs can smell the pack and hear things that we can't hear, obviously. Hear them padding around on the peripheries of their owners' properties. There are some nights I'll come out here and these dogs are just completely silent. And I'll know that whatever pack that patrols this area is off 100 miles away somewhere, or 50 miles away somewhere, you know, hunting up in the foothills or whatever the fuck. After watching a boar get eaten by a group of hyenas, I can't watch another doc. I mean, I don't know. I can understand if you have a particular sensitivity to the violence of it or whatever, but like seeing like nature happen, I mean, it can be cruel and gross sometimes to watch, but it's always so just the coolness of it always overcomes that for me. Like the absolute insanity of being able to watch an animal in a moment like that. they ate it ass first. I mean, nature is fucking metal as fuck. I saw a vid of a I saw a vid of a gator ripping off another gator's arm in an enclosure, and everybody freaked out. Yeah. Do you live more in the burbs or the boonies, Paul, or maybe one of those weird spots with legit wildlife? I'm I'm in the burbs of the burbs, if that makes sense. That's the best way that I can put it. So I guess I would say I'm in the boonies, but I'm not deep in the boonies. I'm like right on the edge of the boonies. You know what I mean? Enough. I'm far enough out to be considered the boonies, but only just. And when you're in the boonies, you know, you got wildlife for days. Ever hear any weird noises like strange howls or screams? Yes. There's one night, I can't remember the name of the fucking stream, but I was out here streaming, probably around this time. And somebody, it sounded like a woman or a man, I couldn't tell. Somebody fucking screamed. Like, was screaming like, not like help, help or anything, but just like, it was fucking nuts. And I was like, I walked over to the edge of my property and I listened for it, and I was just like, what the fuck was that? And we think that there are some mockingbirds in the area that are mimicking the sound of peacocks, because they squawk at night, and peafowl do not do that. They roost at night. It's pretty rare for a peacock to at night, but we hear it, and we think that there's mockingbirds living in the area that at some point lived near a peacock and learned to imitate its call. Might be a mountain lion. Don't think so. It was a person. I mean, I know that mountain lions can sound really, really like people, but I'm not in an area that mountain lions don't range down where I'm at. Like in the area that I'm in, the rarest type of animal that you'll see range down sometimes is a black bear. A black bear will come down out of the mountains sometimes. Typically, their kind of ranging, hunting, traveling area ends at the foothills. No, this is a person. It was definitely a human being. I mean, well, I won't say definitely, but it was crazy. It came from right over here. There's just like empty field. I mean, there's people that kind of live catty corner that way and people that live catty corner that way, but straight this way, it's just like the big empty. You know what I mean? And somebody out there was just hollering. When did this happen? Back in the winter. I think it was before I was married, so it had to be like a stream from like November, maybe October, November, maybe early December. Sorry, I was spitting all the salt earlier. I've just been angsty lately, man. A lot of it has to do with depression and shit. It's like I'm at a point now where like I've kind of let this political stuff get to me a little bit. And it's like I feel not guilty, but I just feel impotent doing anything other than thinking about it, which is stupid, but it's just part of how I fixate. And so it's like I can't detach. I can't go watch a movie. I can, but it's just like hard for me to sit down and like play a video game or just enjoy chilling when I'm like this. You know, and I love those things. You know, I played video games pretty much my whole life, and you know, same thing with movies. I've always been a movie buff, and those are two of the ways in which I practice escapism. And it's just so hard when I get like this to put myself in that position of like, all right, let everything go and just chill. I feel like I just can't, you know, and that's just putting too much on myself. That's putting, you know, of course I have no fucking, you know, genuine power over the situation, but I just feel that way sometimes, and I get mad. Like I get so angry, man. I'm things are gonna be okay, Paul. No, they're not. That's kind of the point. Well, Othello went and found the stream with the scream, dude. Was it in the range that I thought it was, Othello? Like, did I at least get the date range correct? Othello really is distinguishing himself amongst the specters, I gotta say. His dedication to his craft has not been lost on the council. I think if you go to the comments, there will be a timestamp in it. Like, look at the comments on the video. Somebody timestamped it. I'm pretty sure in the comments. So that would be easier than having poor Othello do that for you. Don't work Othello like a fucking... I don't want you wearing Othello out, okay? I like Othello nice and fucking chill, relaxed, and just doing his fucking thing. You know what I mean? You ever wish you lived in blissful ignorance? It seems most people who follow politics in this country seem to, instead of realizing the boot that's crushing out. I don't know, man. I really don't think people are as blissfully ignorant as you think they are. I think that a lot of the mental problems, stress, and fatigue that underlies a lot of the political division in this country is based on this very self-same fucking anxiety. I'm not the only human being. Like, you know, animals go ape shit when they feel their doom coming. It's like creatures in the forest can sense a forest fire even when it's like hundreds of miles away, and they start running from it early because they can feel their doom coming. And I think we oftentimes forget that human beings are fucking animals. And I think that a lot of personal mental illness is driven and fed in the modern world by that very self-same anxiety that I'm talking about feeling. I think people know it. I think that a lot of people engage in the escapism of pretending it isn't happening. I'll be right back. Gotta take a leak and fill my drink. Some crazy guy walks back holding Paul's head. Brings it over here and just like moves the mouth up and down. That'd be pretty fucked up. Not gonna lie. What am I drinking? Just water. Well water too. The best kind of water. I missed a UFO. Did it land right in my backyard? That'd be neat. That'd be neat if it did that. Geez, so bright it's like I just used Crest. You and your whole crew look like a downright mess. I like the ranchy noise of the wood floor. Huh? It's not a wood floor, it's a stone floor though. Or like a brick thing. A Mass Effect Reaper landed back there? Fuck, why didn't you guys tell me? I totally would have joined him. I'd have been like, give me power and I will serve you. I will help you destroy them all. I didn't hear the bois, dude. I'm fucking deaf. I'm damn near stone deaf. We're fucking around with that. Why would you hate me? Don't hate the player, hate the game. All right, and it is. It's beautiful. Crispy, wonderful, fluffy, covered in terpenes, legal American marijuana. Oh, the best. The best of the best. You guys ever seen that video of that dude who's takes a hit and he's crying? He's like, got tears streaming down his face, and he's like, you're like, man, what's going on with this guy? He's like, the weed is so good. Happy 420. Same to you. This bowl's for you, Chelsea. Right back at you. Happy 420. I hope you've got something that you can enjoy over there your way. Hope you're not 420-less on 420. Be happy to smoke a bowl with you, Chelsea. Even at a distance. It feels good to be smoking weed at the same time as Chelsea. Chelsea and I've had a lot of good stoned talks in the middle of the night. She'd oftentimes catch me up like super early in the morning or whatever, sitting out on the back porch just smoking. We'd sit down and just chill and smoke. Chelsea's a dope ass smoke partner. She knows how to keep that flow of conversation going. I miss sitting down, and it's 4:20 a.m. there too. Damn, double 4:20. Well, shit. I gotta fucking get on top of this bowl then. I didn't realize. Double 4:20. Holy shit. I'm so looking forward to you guys getting a visit. I really am. I miss you guys a lot. Weed is beautiful. It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I know Dionor is gonna love seeing you guys too. He's gonna go ape shit. He ain't gonna leave you alone for about 3 hours straight until he chills. Dirty D. Went into a long, deep sleep early, so still relatively energized. Yeah, I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I didn't sleep for shit last night. Last night I went to bed somewhere around like, I want to say it was like 3:30 in the morning, and I woke up like straight up bolt up awake at 6:15 this morning. And I was like, this is going to be an interesting day. And it turns out it was. But, you know, whatever. One of those days. My mom, I was talking to her on the phone today. She's been having trouble with her foot. She's getting up there in years. And she calls it plantar fascial. I think she's talking about plantar fasciitis. She calls it plantar fascial or whatever. She says she has that, a heel spur, and arthritis in her foot. And I'm just like, oh no. Oh no. She said the trifecta. She called it the trifecta. I was like, oh, Mom. So I had a long ass talk with my mom today, and well, it wasn't a mistake because my mom has a lot of good advice, but sometimes she doesn't. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not always, she doesn't always, you know, have whatever it is I need to hear. And today was just one of those days. I made the mistake of telling her, like, dude, I'm just like depressed and anxious, have been for a while, yada, 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 going into like my job and saying, you know, I've been really hitting the streaming hard lately, and I feel like I'm just kind of like burnt. And today she was on a kick where she wanted me to, like, I don't know what got her on this kick. Her and my stepdad have a little motor home that they putter around in. And all she wanted to talk to me about today was like, you guys should rent a motor home. I was like, Mama, rent a motor home and go on a trip. And I was like, I mean, that's not bad advice. I don't think I'm a motorhome type, but like the trip, yeah, I like that idea. But, I can't just up and go on a trip. Oh my God, dude, it's so fucking weird that you say that, Marshall. She came up with this whole plan. And I was trying to explain to her that, like, if I go on a trip, I want to try and, like, get away from streaming and having to film shit. Unless it's a business trip where I know that that's what I'm doing. You know what I mean? But, like, if I go on a personal, like, vacation, like, I might stream once or twice, but, like, I'm not looking to make a bunch of fucking content. And my mom was like, DFF from the road. You could do the show. She's like, you remember that time? She's like, I watched you one time when you first moved down here, and you didn't even have your internet set up yet, and you joined the guys on the show from your phone. And I was like, yeah, Mom, but it sounded like shit, because I was on my phone and stuff. It doesn't sound good unless I'm sitting at my actual thing. I'm telling you, PJ, you could do it. You could rig it up to where you could do that show from anywhere as you go. You get a motorhome. Hook it up in there just every which way so you can film it. And you can be everywhere. I was like, I simultaneously love and hate this advice. So I had to explain to my mom that I've changed in the last couple of years. Because I was giving my mom a different, like, and I'll admit, dude, like, you understand, like, people's priorities in life change and shit. But I've been feeding her for like the last 5 years this I'm a fucking Rolling Stone kind of shit when she asks me about my life and where I'm gonna live and how I'm doing. I'm like, I'm a fucking Rolling Stone. I'm not gonna sit down here and gather moss. I'm gonna move. I'm gonna go fucking bounce around. And now that I've like bounced once, I told my mom, I was like, you know what I really want is like stability. I want a place that it's just like I like being at least in the place that I live, not necessarily like the city that I live adjacent to or whatever. I've given up on that fucking idea. But a place something like this where it's like I can just be. So she's trying to give me advice from this perspective I used to have of like, fuck, I just want to be moving around all the time. I don't ever want to be tied down to one place. And I'm married now, you know what I mean? And having gotten a little taste of like having my own spread here and looking at the land that I'm sitting on, I don't know if it's going to be this place, probably not. But, I'm just really looking to fucking like find a place and go, because I have, like, there are things I want to do for myself that are going to make my work life better so that I can be better at doing what I do. Like, one of the things that's fucked up in my life right now, and I know that Chelsea, if she's still listening, will attest to this, work-life balance doesn't exist in my life. It just doesn't. I work every day. Now, I mean, I work all day, every fucking day, but I'm on call basically 24/7, 365. Like, I live where I work. And so it's like something adjacent to my work is always fucking happening. And that's necessary, but I want there to be some kind of division. I used to love it when I was forced out of my house in a way to go to the studio because it made it feel like I had a place where most of my work was done, and then my home was a different place from that. And I don't have that now. I don't know if TJ's ever had that. And I'm not even talking about having that, but what I want to do is buy a place that has a big piece of land, not big, but a piece of land big enough for me to build an outbuilding. Like a full functional outbuilding with a fucking bathroom in it, spacious enough for multiple people to chill in it, and have it be my studio. So when I go to work, that's where I work out of. And when I'm not out in that building, I'm not at work. It's not a totally unattainable dream. It's just something that, like, it's going to take some time for me to get there. And I want it like now, you know? But, it's a useful fucking idea for multiple reasons. It would give a place for, people to come and collaborate with me. I could set it up so that the guys could sit down and we could do a show. We could record a show there. I could set it up so that Marshall could come down and I'd have, big monitors in there. We could just make a beat, fucking do a whole song together. You know what I mean? If Rodney comes back and visits me, I could fucking set up and record him playing the guitar and me singing some old Apple Nasty shit and some old Government Fund shit. Yeah, it would definitely be useful as that. The problem with that is that, well, I mean, I wouldn't have people over to stay if I was at a point where I couldn't take a few days off, so it doesn't really matter. I was going to say it would be hard to have somebody staying out there and also have to work out of that, but you get my drift. It would just have to be, I would have to have people down during times where I could take the time off that they're spending. And in that case, it would be perfect for that. You have a comfy couch in there or some shit that folds out into a bed. It's got a bathroom in it. You know what I mean? It's totally not unattainable, but it's just a little ways in the future for me. And I've got to stay on fucking course and stay on track to get there. So. How's the cost of living compared to New Orleans? I mean, it is what it is. Like, one of the principles that I live by and have lived by for, ever since I got divorced, is that I live well below my means. Always. I've only gone against that one time, and that was when I lived in Bellevue. And that was just because I wasn't going to fucking say no to that. I wasn't going to be like, do you want to live in downtown Bellevue? Nah. But no, I live well below my means. And that, principle allows me a little bit of limberness to build things like a house, or like not a house, but like an outbuilding, like a studio building. I probably wouldn't pay for it up front, but, take out a loan and pay it off or whatever the fuck, you know what I mean? The great thing about building that type of thing, too, is that it's a tax write-off. Because I'm building it for my job. Housing costs are insanely high everywhere now. It really sucks. I know, Chelsea. Trust me. You remember when I was trying to move out of Louisiana, how fucking hard it was for me to find a place anywhere. You remember? I remember bitching to you about it at one point. just how it was like a fucking mess. And I can't imagine it's gotten better in the last year, so, or 6 months or whatever. I live in a safe area with low crime. You never need to worry about the size or state of the place. Peace of mind is all I want. I can maintain anything needed. Yep. Whatever floats your boat. I'm gonna move to Indian eventually. There's an area with some of the cheapest apartments in the country. You're talking about Indiana? Yeah, I remember. We're about to go through that too. I know. But, you guys will find something. I didn't want to be the one to say it, Chelsea. I was just going to let him go ahead and, I don't want to poo-poo on anybody's plans, but yeah, Indiana's a shithole, man. Since Chelsea went ahead and just said it, then I'm gonna go ahead and just say it too. Indiana's a shithole. Don't move to Indiana. Full-blown American shithole status, dude. You don't want to do that. No legal weed. It's just a fucking backwards ass shitty place. You know what? Indiana, it happens in Indiana, trucking, and not a lot else. It's like an entire state populated by truckers. You went to a methadone clinic in Indiana. Oh, Jesus Christ. Man. I gotta clean this pipe tomorrow. This pipe is due for yet another cleaning. Yippee skippy. You know what? Fuck that. I can just throw it in this fucking cob. Yes, sir. I can just do this. Load myself up a nice fatty boom batty bowl. I'll clean that pipe tomorrow. In the meantime, I'll smoke like a gentleman. Oh, that's nice. I should probably let you guys in on a little fact. Since it's 420, the last time I went inside, I ate a giant dose of indica gummies that are laced with melatonin. And them shits are starting to kick in. And I'm feeling very relaxed, I must say. Oh, man. Pardon me while I blow my nose. Sorry, I know that's fucking gross to listen to, but I can't stand to fucking sit here sniffling all goddamn night. Ugh. Yeah, I'm sorry, dude. I told you guys. I tried to warn you. I told you I was gonna fucking blow my nose. Oh, dude, I live with this shit. I've had allergies, no joke, since I moved back to California from Arizona in my 20s. When I was a kid, I never had fucking allergies. I was never sick, never had a fucking sinus infection, never had postnasal drip all the time like I do now. Never had this fucking constant fucking allergy shit. I moved from the Central Valley of California, where I was raised, to Arizona, where there's not a lot of allergens. I lived in Arizona for 2 years or so. And then came back to California, and I was fucking allergic to everything. Allergy headaches started. I started getting this postnasal drip shit. Just constant. It's just ridiculous. It's just fucking, it's year round. It doesn't matter what season it is. It's just a constant fucking bunch of shit. Ugh. It sucks. Benadryl is my friend, but I can't really take that during the day because it alternately has no effect on me tiredness-wise or puts me right to sleep. Benadryl is so unpredictable for me. Sometimes I can pop a couple Benadryl and it just makes my allergies feel better and I go on about my day. And sometimes I pop a couple Benadryl and like an hour and a half later, all I want to do is just curl up in a ball and sleep for 12 hours. So it's like, I got to take that sparingly. Outside of that, there's really not a lot I can do. It sucks. I was in DMs with someone who I found out was getting off to TJ piss. Ended that conversation real quick. TJ piss? The piss episode that he made? Somebody was doing the wank and spank to the piss episode? TJ took the stream into the bathroom. Oh, so they could hear him tinkling. They could hear TJ taking a tinkle. Degeneracy, dude. What even are human beings? So you can hear that tonight we're probably not going to be lucky and get a final end of the hunt howl, because you can hear that the dog barking in my area has all but stopped, and there's very distant dog barking this way, meaning that the pack, instead of moving towards us, has moved away. So I can still hear dogs barking, but they're dogs that are about probably a mile and a half away from me. He didn't even wash his hands. Gross. What am I gonna do? Like, catch something for myself? Animals first, civilized humans second. Yeah. I don't know if Marshall is still chilling. I need to hit up Marshall. Well, oh yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I'll just hit you up. I don't know why I always try and do business with you here. I'll just hit you up on Twitter in the next couple of days. Try and line out a time that we can meet and chill and do that FL Studio shit and talk about these 2 beats that I'm writing on right now and all that fun stuff. Yay! Dude, I'm stoned as fuck. I have like this like intense desire to like end the stream when I get this high. When I push through it, it tends to end up being pretty funny, but I'm also been streaming for a while now. There's part of me that just wants to like, no, I feel good. Like I feel loopy doopy, which is really good. Like I feel like I could actually like kick my feet up and chill, which is maybe what I should do since I've been streaming for a while. If I feel like I could literally like go and kick my feet up and chill for a while and let it all go, let it flow, maybe that's what I should do. Got a J laced with Keef for your lunch break. Well, it sounds like everybody is prepared as they can be. For 420. I'm gonna go chill. I'll see you guys later. Bye.